Hello everyone, good afternoon. We're here in the track in Ellesmere Port with fabulous James Campbell. He's a PT, he's been doing personal training for 2 years already, and we're going to cover main ideas about well-being and sports. Thank you for being here, James. It's nice to have you. So tell us a little bit more about you.
Yeah, so I'm 20 years old, been at Total Fitness in Chester now for nearly 2 years now. So really enjoying it, mate. Really good. Work with a number of people. Obviously have the run club. That's why we're here today as well. So you kind of go into the personal training role if you're new, and you kind of figure out what you enjoy training people with normally what they need.
Okay.
So it was kind of, people ask you what do you specialise in to start with, and I have no idea. So it was a big thing with what do people need in the gym, and it was more injury prevention and mobility issues as well. So it's everyday people, they're not professional athletes or anything, and they don't want to be, making everyday life easier for themselves. So kind of touched on that for the first year and a half, I'd say. Kind of developed it as a speciality, and then what I enjoy doing recently within the last year has been the running side of things. So that developed as a passion probably last year in the summer, I would say. And then it was, build up enough of a client base to be able to be like, I want to be able to take people on who also share that same passion, really. It was kind of picking up people with running, and a couple of months later started the run club from the gym as well. That was a good niche to have within that gym as well. Although there's, I think we said earlier, about 12 personal trainers as well in the gym, 12, 13. Everyone's different, everyone's got their own special area, and everyone's been there for a different amount of time. And I felt like the running would be a great niche to have as well. And especially now, you've seen it in the last 6 months or so, everyone's running now. Yeah, true. It's a big, I'd say it's a big hobby at the moment, mainstream hobby.
What do you recommend from your experience? Because James, he's a very good runner, so with solid times, paces, and the body mass ratio to speed, I think it's impressive. So what would you recommend to someone that's just about to start the running adventure?
If someone's just started to run, and I'd also say don't neglect the gym work as well. Don't just want to swap out 100% of gym work for 100% of the running. Don't want to do that because that's not going to be sustainable as well. I would say usually when people run, this is myself included, when you start running, is you start running and you feel like you need to run as fast as you can. And you also see your heart rate shoot up as high as possible as well. You're in the maximum heart rate already. I would say looking at maybe touching on that running once or twice a week, if you've got the time for twice a week, and it doesn't feel like your minimum distance needs to be 5k. A lot of people feel like it needs to be that. I reckon even if you can run 1,000 meters, if you can, that'd be great. A track's a good place to come as well, 400 meters round once, so a good one to touch on. That running's going to get you in the higher heart rates, which is good. But then also, again, touch on the heart rate training, do something different away from the running, because again, you're training the heart, not the running directly. That's fine. That's called
cross training.
Cross training, yes, and then people have probably heard of zone 2 training before as well, which is very common. So said a lot of people running's too intense for zone 2, so maybe get on walking on the treadmill, incline walk, that's enough. Rowing machine, assault bike, again, don't think of it as like, why am I not running? This isn't going to improve my running. You're going to train your heart. And that's the big thing. And then you mentioned also muscle conditioning. What's the balance between running and muscle conditioning a week, roughly? How does it look like for someone that's starting? Someone who's very new.
Like someone that has a 9 to 5, that has to work, maybe family commitments. What would you recommend practically in terms of volume and balancing both?
Good question, because the time does come into it a lot. Your time availability. I would say, because it doesn't matter if you're going before work or after work, you don't need to push yourself into going training twice a day straight away. Don't need to do that. I'd say whatever you feel like sustainable to start with as well. So again, things like the concept of like a couch to 5k is very good. So I said if I'm taking someone who's never run before, never even done the gym before as well, a couch to 5k system is a good thing to go into. So that might look like you're even doing 1 kilometre run on the Monday and then 1 kilometre run on the Thursday as well. So that might take you 7 minutes, let's say, under 10 minutes anyway. And then you may be doing that at the start of your gym session on the treadmill, for example, or outside as the weather's really good now. And then you're going in the gym session, you're probably just looking at, don't want to overcomplicate it. It's probably because of, in terms of safety and accessibility in the gym, it's okay to stick to machines to start with. That's completely fine. And then you look at some stretching and mobility routines around the running, because when you start running with your body weight, especially if it's high, or if you just got weak legs, for example, because they're not used to the running, you might need that. You're gonna feel a lot of tightness come up early doors as well, and you don't want to push it too much because it's not going to keep you going then. Not going to keep you motivated.
And I think if I may summarize the approach for a beginner that wants to take on this endeavor with a balancing the rest of the commitments in life, I would say it doesn't really matter high volume as long as you balance the running, the muscle conditioning, the stretching and mobility around the week. That should enable people to have a good performance for the beginning, and we can keep moving forward, adding some more volume so that we can improve.
Absolutely,
And then in terms of general considerations for well-being in sports, what has been the most useful for you, since you're a very good athlete in not only muscle conditioning wise but also running? What has been the best for you?
Yes, in terms of just sport in general.
Yes, general sports.
Okay. Yes, so I've always been part of the team sport with football as well, and I stopped playing that competitively about 2 or 3 years ago now, and then obviously recently got into the running. But I would say I started the gym when I was 14.
Oh, wow, okay.
So nearly 7 years ago now.
Yeah.
Feels like a long time. But it wasn't as much, I'm going to go to the gym to, develop my fitness. Well, it was develop my fitness, but it was not as much like I want to get this size arms or anything like that, or size legs. It wasn't even I want to get amazing at football. It wasn't as much that. It was more like, it was a social thing. My friends went, and that puts you in a good direction, because it's good to be around those type of friends as well. Who we share that same passion and interest in the gym compared to other things, instead of other things. And then when you start the gym, I think a lot of people think, I'm not going to go to the gym because I'm not bothered about 30-inch arms or anything like that. When people who try and test it, the thing that keeps them coming is the mental thing a lot of the time. And it's the same thing for myself as well. It's maybe even when I didn't have a sport for that year, it was I'm asking myself, why am I going to the gym today? And it wasn't as much you can set yourself, it's great to have the motivations of certain number of kilograms to lift on a certain lift, that's great. But then also the thing that kept me in, and a lot of people who I train now, for them to come in as well, is, and I always feel better after the gym session. That's a common saying. It's like, you never regret a gym session that you've come in for as well. So everyone's got their own different reasons, but if you can try it out, I think you'll see. It's hard to tell someone about the mental benefits because unless they've tried it themselves, really. That's one of the big things. And then again, it's a big social thing and community thing nowadays as well. You got all these run clubs about as well, and it's a great social area to have.
It's crazy, and that's actually why we're here in this moment.
Exactly.
So mentally and physically, sports are a huge part that can enhance our lives, not only to improve the physical endeavor, but also to improve, not to improve, but I would say to keep a stable mindset that can enable us to enjoy our lives on a day-to-day basis. What would you like to recommend to finalize the interview? What would you like to recommend in general to anyone that's looking into improving their lives physically, and from your domain of expertise, but also from your experience?
Yes, because the expertise and the experience go hand in hand, absolutely. What I would promote, there's always ways you can make things harder and easier as well. So, you never don't feel like I can't do a 5k run, so I'm going to give it up completely.
Yeah.
As I said, you can do 1,000 meters, you can do 100 meters if you want to. And you never need to go as hard as you can every session.
Yeah.
With running or gym or even stretching. Just see, it's kind of, you start it and you kind of figure out yourself in your own body what you're capable of. Don't look at someone else online or one of your friends who's been training for 2 decades, for example. Don't look at them and be like, yeah, well, they're training twice a day because they're doing a half Ironman, full Ironman, whatever. Just look at, well, what's the first step that I could take? And if you feel fatigued after a 10-minute stretching session or even 100 meters on the running, that's fine, that's great. You can do, right, well, 100 meters is where I'm at, so maybe I'll run or jog 100 meters, and I'm going to walk another 200 meters, and I'm going to maybe run 120 meters. And that's the slow progression you take. And you don't look at, and then before you know it, you're running the 5k and you look back on the date where you were running that distance.
I totally agree. I can definitely relate to that. I always say there's no bad training session. Any training session is a good training session as long as we show up. That relates also to consistency. You've been in the gym since you were 14, right?
Yes.
So you are now 20. So you've 20 been... You're 20?
20 now, 21 in July, yes.
So you've been going to the gym consistently for 6 years now. So it's not something like good physical condition or anything. It's not about just going and push as hard as we can once. It requires consistent efforts so that we can improve and see the huge results that our body can enable us to see. But it requires consistent efforts with a stable strategy to balance the rest of our commitments in life.
Absolutely. And for touching on that, I remember when I started the gym, I'm in my first ever session in the gym as well, Fred. And you think about the issues that I'll have with being scared to go in the gym, being scared to go in this part of the gym. I had the same thing. It took me a couple of years, I'd say, before I even walked over to a squat rack. And you feel like, again, when bring people on board, I've got people on board who are in their 60s now who have had their first ever gym session, and they've got the same problem, they've got the same thing, maybe people are looking at me, things like that. And a good thing, and where the experience comes into play, with the hand in hand with the expertise as well, is also, I remember when I had the same feeling, and I relate back to when I overcame it myself as well. And then you realise a lot of people are in the same boat in the gym as well. Yeah,
true, exactly. And usually we're focused on what we are doing. We're not really focused on what other people do. It's just something out of our imagination that happens only in our mind. It realistically it doesn't happen. And when you get to know the other person, the people in the gym, usually 99% of the people are going to be kind and nice to us. So be social, be consistent, reach out for someone experienced with knowledge like James. And I would say, to finalize with what you just said, think about you and how you need to do things. Forget about what others might be thinking or might not be thinking. This is your path, this is my path, your path.
Absolutely.
So as you said, each individual journey has its own specific traits. We have different conditions ourselves. So we need to tailor the approach to fit our specific conditions. Thank you very much, James, for being here. So I would like to finish by saying that James, he is running this run club in Chester and around. So I'll let you do the ad cue. If you want to introduce what you do in Chester so that people can reach out to you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we do the run club. We take that 4 days a week, sometimes 5 days. So once a month we come to the track here in Ellesmere Port. So again, it is Chester or Ellesmere Port. Everyone's available to come down. It's free, completely free. Just ask for your time. Tuesday and Thursday evenings is the run clubs on, and Saturday mornings. To be able to get in touch, you just get via the Instagram. You can join the WhatsApp group chat through there on the bio. And
we offer it to everyone. Again, the run club's there because you don't need to be running the 5Ks, whatever, to be able to join. We have a mixture of distances and ranges, mixture of abilities here as well. It's great, and it relates to the average member in the gym.
Okay.
It relates to people having the first run,
Yeah.
and people who are having races coming up.
Yeah.
10Ks, whatever. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much, James.
No.
So you'll find
Fred.
James' account in the description down below, so that you can reach out to him if you live in Chester or nearby. Awesome. So thank
Amazing.
James again.
Pleasure.
Thanks for being with
Thank you
us.
very much.